and take you to Durban, where the Democratic Alliance and the IFP will have a joint briefing today about working together ahead of the 2024 national elections. Watching that space for us is Karinda Jagmohan. And Karinda, good morning to you. Apart from asking the obvious, what can we expect? Are people a bit surprised that these two parties, are holding such a briefing far ahead of the 2024 elections? What is it that they're trying to do here?
Well, of course, as my colleague Zianda was mentioning earlier, this is talks about coalition between the two parties ahead of the next national election. It's not surprising, really, because even when we're voting in council for the eThekwini Metro Municipality, the DA and IFP, as well as, understandably, the EFF, had plans to work together to vote out the ANC in eThekwini in Durban. But after the ANC joined forces with the Abantu Bato Congress, making Philani Mavundla, the ABC leader, the deputy mayor for the city, they then won power for the eThekwini Metro. But we have seen the DA and IFP work together here in KwaZulu-Natal, especially when you look at the 2019 national election. At that time, the ANC gained 55% in KZN, the IFP and DA both 14% as well in terms of voter support. But now we see that they also want to bring into their fold smaller parties to make up that extra half that they would need to essentially usurp the ANC from power. That's what they plan to do in the next national election in 2024. And this especially focusing in KwaZulu-Natal, where we have seen numbers of political parties really speak about the type of governance here, where we see ANC in stronghold. Already in the northern parts of KwaZulu-Natal, the IFP has won several municipalities. There are also now the official opposition in the KwaZulu-Natal legislature. Now, the IFP and DA had bilateral talks back in October with various senior leaders in both parties, including IFP leader Velenkosini Hlabisa, the DA's John Steenhuisen, Helen Zille, and Naren Singh, all of them coming together here in Durban to speak about especially tangible steps in which they could work together ahead of the 2024 national election. Now, this includes especially focusing in KwaZulu-Natal. So today, they'll speak to us more about what this means. Now, also today, at about 1 o'clock, the KZN Premier will be hosting a briefing speaking about her 100 days in office. But she has come under criticism from a number of community groups, from a number of political parties, including these two today, about governance in KwaZulu-Natal, especially some of the major issues here in Durban when we look at the state of infrastructure in the city. So it's going to be interesting to see what the DA IFP have to say this morning, and then later what the KZN Premier has to say in defense of the criticism that has been leveled against her over her work in office over the past 100 days.
Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for whetting our appetite there. Should we go to that briefing at around 11, because that's when it's slated to start? I'll talk nicely to the producers. Karinda Jagmohan, thank you very much for the time being. All right.